Hello everyone, welcome to Southern Wreaths. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and share my video. And make sure you become a member of my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how I make this really pretty Day of the Dead wreath. I decided to use this sign. It has lots of different pastels and glitter, but it also has the black and white, which I really like. So I'm going to use this as a base, and then these three meshes throughout. And then I have these ribbons that are bright. These have sparkle. And then this is the black and white I'm pulling in, and it also has purple, orange, and green mixed throughout. Oh, and I'm also going to use a 14-inch wireframe. And I'm going to use hot glue and E6000 to attach the pipe cleaners to my sign. I got this sign from Dollar Tree. I'm pretty sure it was a couple of years ago. I have, it has this backing so you can stand it up like a picture. I'm just going to pop that right off. It pulls right off. And then I'm going to use my E6000 hot glue and pipe cleaner so I can attach it to my frame. I have this tag from my wreath frame. I'm just going to cut it in half because I'm going to use that as well. Sorry, it's hard to open. I'm going to add a nice big glob of it. Alright. Then I lay my pipe cleaner in the E6000 about, as evenly as I can. And then I add a ton of hot glue. And I like to use Gorilla hot glue. Then I'm going to use the piece of cardboard and I just kind of lay it over. It makes me think of like a band-aid. It just holds everything together. So I do this first so I can set it to the side and let it dry. I'm going to start by adding one to each crossbar around the two center rings, twisting 3 times. I end up with 6. Once I'm done adding the pipe cleaners to the center, I'm going to add some to the outside. I just pick a random crossbar to start. I go around the 2 outside rings, twisting 3 times. When I'm done with that, I'll lay it along the frame, the second from the outside ring, and then add a pipe cleaner at where those pipe cleaners end. And I'll do this going all the way around the outside. I end up with 8 on the outside, 6 on the inside, for a total of 14. Once I'm done adding all of my pipe cleaners, I open up the outside one so I can go ahead and start adding my mesh. For this wreath, I'm going to do a black 21-inch mesh poof base. You could skip the base if you have a lot of 10-inch mesh, and then you could just do the ruffles. I don't have enough, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this mesh. I'm going to take a zip tie and attach this mesh to the frame where there's a pipe cleaner at the crossbar. I'm not actually using that pipe cleaner yet. I'm just wrapping this around the crossbar that's there. I do that so it doesn't slide back and forth. And then I'll just trim everything away and start making my poofs. I'm going to do 10-inch poofs, and I like to use my mat to help me measure. So I'm just going to go to the 20 and pull out to the 10. You could also do 12-inch poofs if you want. I'm finding that 10-inch poofs work great. Twist 1.5 times. And then I'll flip it. So again, I'll pull out. I have my hand like this, pulling it out, and I squeeze when I get to the 10. Pull this up as I'm pulling in. Then I'll twist 1.5 times and fluff. And I'll do that going all the way around the outside. Once I get to my last poof, I am going to, and this is just on the outside, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my mesh. And then I'm going to place it on top of where the zip tie is, and then pull the pipe cleaner around, and then twist it 1.5 times here. And then I'll fluff. So the best way I've found to pull the mesh to the center is to just, I'm going to go ahead and open my ties. It makes my life a little bit easier. I'm just going to take the mesh and pull it to the closest pipe cleaner. Make sure the pipe cleaner, has the mesh pulled in. And then I'm just going to twist it 1 time and continue making my poofs. Now for my last poof on the inside, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out to the 10 inches. I'm going to open that first pipe cleaner that I used to pull the mesh in. And then I'm just going to lay this poof where that was. It makes a crease when you do it, when you wrap the pipe cleaner. And then do the 1.5 times. Fluff my poof. If I can get it going in the right direction. Then I'm going to pull out my mesh, trim that away, and then I like to push these apart and then just pull the mesh through to the back in between the bars. And I'll use one more zip tie to attach it to the crossbar, and I end up at the first crossbar that I attached the first zip tie at. And pull it tight, trim it away. And I always like to push the zip tie towards the front so there's nothing sharp poking out the back. And I'll go through and re-fluff some of my poofs. But that's how I do my poof base. I will end up needing 14 pieces of mesh. So what I'm going to do is use the smallest one first just to see what I can get out of it. And I am going to cut them at 24 inches. So I'm just using my mat to help me measure. I'm going to grab it at the 0 because this measures 24 inches. And then pull it over and use my rotary cutter to cut it. And I'll do the same thing to the other mesh. And then I will do this with the different colors until I get to 14. I'm not really too concerned about it all being even because these are just already used rolls of mesh. I got 5 of the purple, 5 of the pink, and I cut 4 of the blue. There's a couple reasons for that. One, this is actually 12-inch mesh instead of 10. And 2, it is from Michaels, so it is not the best quality. I would say it's a little bit better than Hobby Lobby, but it's still pretty crappy compared to the other 2 that are from Craft Outlet. So I'm going to try to alternate them, so I probably shouldn't start with the blue since I have less of the blue, but I'm going to alternate the colors as best I can to get them scattered through the wreath. So I'm going to put something heavy at the end. I lay it out flat, and this is a little messy, so I'm going to fold it under when I start my ruffle. Just make sure everything's tucked, and then going straight down the center, I grab. These 2 fingers stay like here, and then these pull up and then they lift up. And you just do that all the way through. And then when I get to the end, I tuck that under as well. So I end up with it tucked at the front and the back. Alright, I'm going to show you again. I lay it out flat. I have it here. Tuck under the beginning. And then just ruffle it forward. Once I get to the end, I'm going to squeeze it here. Now, I did lie. This is not from Craft Outlet. This is from Hobby Lobby. And I could tell the difference in the way it feels. You can actually see the way it looks. See how these squares are a lot closer together than these? It's just a different quality of mesh. But you can still make beautiful wreaths with Hobby Lobby's and Michaels mesh. You can even make beautiful wreaths with Dollar Tree mesh. When you're beginning wreath making, that's probably the best way to go about doing it because you're saving money and you can still sell wreaths because people like, more affordable wreaths. And then once you get to a point where you can spend a little bit more, then you can get the better mesh. It just makes your life a little bit easier. I'm going to keep going through and adding mesh to the whole wreath. But this is what it looks like after I add all my ruffles. I do have a spot here where I go pink, purple, but with the blue right here, I don't think it's a huge thing that stands out. So I think it all works out pretty good. I have an odd number of ribbons here. What I'm going to do is, I know I'm going to do these 2 together, so I'm going to do these 2 together. This one, I have enough to cut 7. I technically have 8, but I'm just going to do 7. What I'm going to do is alternate every other one is going to have this. On the inside, it'll probably be every green, and then on the outside, it'll be all of those. So they all kind of mix together. I can't talk. Alright, I have a 12-inch piece of cardboard here, and I'm going to take my ribbon and lay it all the way to the end, and then I'm going to twist it, smooth it out, make sure I get my crease. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Make sure I smooth it out and crease it. I'm going to take my scissors and slide it in between the ribbon and the cardboard and cut. Do the same thing on this end. And I end up with 7 pieces of 7 12-inch pieces of ribbon. And I'm going to do that with all of them. And then once I cut everything, I'm going to dovetail it. So I take a couple pieces, fold it in half long ways, and I'm going to cut from the wire to the crease at an angle. I'll do that on both sides. And I end up with this really pretty dovetail on the ends. So I'm going to go through and finish cutting all of my ribbon. After I went through and cut all my ribbon, I stack it the way I want to add it to my wreath. And I just take it and make it even, fold it in half and crease it. And then I will pinch 3 times, 1, 2, 3 in the center. And then that's the part I'm going to add into my pipe cleaner. Then I'm going to twist it 3 times. And then I like to take a glue stick and roll down the pipe cleaner. And then I'll fluff my ribbons. I didn't have enough blue to do them all evenly, so it was supposed to have blue and then this one, but I had to swap it out for the black and white one. So I'll show you one with 3. I'm adding it in the same way. Twisting 3 times, rolling it down. And then when I fluff, I'm going to leave the black and white in the center and then pull the green and the pink in opposite directions. Kind of like an X, and it kind of flowers out. So I'm going to go through and finish adding all of my ribbon. I finished adding all my ribbons and I laid the sign here and I didn't like how plain it looked, so I went through and looked through my stash and found some flowers, and I'm just going to hot glue those in. I gotta remember how I had them. Anyways, I'm gonna add the sign first before I add these flowers. But I have like a lime green, and this is kind of a purpley pink, and then this has kind of an orange and a pink. I thought they went well. I don't have any blue flowers, or I would add some blue ones and possibly purple. I don't have any like dark purple, so that lavender one's gonna have to work. But I do want the sign right in the middle, and my glue has dried. So I'm going to feed the pipe cleaners through to the back and just turn it over. And then just pull it through and attach it to the frame. Doing my best not to pull too tight, but I don't want it loose. I don't want it to sag at all. So be mindful when you're adding pipe cleaners to your sign, where you're going to add it to your wreath. So let's see what that looks like. That will work. I'll just kind of move my ribbons around. So if you don't want to glue onto your mesh and your ribbons, you could also just wire the flowers in, but I'm not really too concerned about it with this wreath, so I'm just gonna go through and glue them where I think they look good. And I'll just add glue to the back and then just stick it in. But first I think I'm gonna go through and make sure I spread them out, and then I'll just go through and add the hot glue. That's what it looks like when I add all my flowers, and you could easily add a lot more if you wanted to, or just other fun things in here, but I kind of like the way this looks. I turn my sign a little bit. I'll probably mess with this for a while, getting my ribbons right, but I'm really happy with the way it turns out. I like how bright and colorful it is. That's it. That's how I made my Day of the Dead wreath. If y'all have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thanks so much for watching, and if y'all like my video or learned anything, please like, share, and subscribe, and become a member of my YouTube channel. Thank you.